Hey everybody, welcome to the live chat. I'm a couple of minutes late. I was having some issues here and I finally figured out what it was. Welcome to Raw Chat. I don't know. My old computer crapped out on me the last live. So I had to go out and get a new one. So I'm still learning the bells and whistles with this new computer. So I thought I was on, but I wasn't. So here I am. And I think everything's working now. So now we could just get things going. Let me see if I can do this part right. Who knows? Probably not. It worked the last time, but we're gonna see what happens here. Um, because I sent it, I think the first time around I sent it, it didn't work out too hot. So we're gonna try this and see how it goes. I'm hoping I have a couple of people pop in and join in on the show. Excuse me, because I have so many questions I want to ask, and I think it would make for a great interview. So I'm hoping that the two people that I invited do pop in and join us on the live. Um, i- Actually, I'm just going to start this off with Guy. I don't know if everybody, of course, most of you all know that you've been paying attention to the that Cody and Satori thing going on, and so everybody's pretty much up in arms about it, and I don't blame them. Y- we work so hard in the paranormal community to find the real stuff, the real facts and information, and then you get people like this who stage all of this phony stuff, and then we have to deal with the aftermath because people out there don't realize what we have to go through to get evidence or to get EVPs or anything. Um, just that little bit is difficult, hard work. And then you get these people on here that are doing this crazy, toe thumping and reciting the alphabet to communicate is just totally just ridiculous. And so, my hat's off to the debunkers and that community. I love all of them, and they're doing a great job. And maybe we could, put some of these people in their place and let them know that we're not going to put up with this kind of craziness. It's just too out of hand. And people are getting nasty, downright nasty. No reason for it. We're all adults, grow up, behave yourself, and take your licks like everybody else has to when they put stuff out here. You put it out, people are going to critique it, and you might not like their opinion, and that's just the way it goes, right? So yeah, that's I don't know, it's crazy. I seen Beardo's video today on it, and I agreed with him. It infuriates people who work so hard to get this stuff and to get this done and to be real and then present it to everybody online to share this education. And you get these other ones that are just, oh, we'll put this out, we'll put this out, and it really does damage. And I just don't. They don't care. It's not that they don't know; they just don't care. That's the bottom line. Um, as long as they're helping themselves to people's pockets and it's benefiting them, that's all they care about. And I'm really surprised as far as Satori goes, seeing that her father, Jason, is defending her, and that's wonderful. That's his job. He's a great guy. I remember watching them when they first come on the scene, and I enjoyed it a great deal. Um, I loved their style. I loved the way they did it, and just some advice. Satori, take some advice from Dad. Stop pulling the wool over people's eyes. Do the real deal. You know, make a good impression on the paranormal community instead of this alphabet thing. I I don't know about you guys. I was just rolling. My eyes would have rolled out of my head. That's just ridiculous. You're looking with a human Ouija board. So yeah, come on. If you're gonna do this, do it right. Do it for the right reasons, and you know, stop trying to pull a fast one. And it like the in the interview, "Oh, we're not doing the toe thumping thing or most joint popping or this and that," and pretty much when they refuse to prove it, um, because he goes, "Oh, I'm not gonna take my shoes and socks off," and, "Well, no, you don't have to take your socks off. You can still thump your toe, uh, with socks on." So, if you're just standing there and stocking feet and, then you could see, if he's telling the truth or not, and that's all people are asking. It's just, prove yourself, prove to the best of your ability, prove your evidence, and. Go from there. Um, but that's just it's such a drama, such a drama, and people are just all up in it. And then that was my 2 lousy cents. It's just my 2 lousy cents in there, and, I try not to get caught up in that drama because, it takes up too much energy, guys, it really does. All that craziness, and who did this, and who said what, and this and that. But I do believe that we do have to defend ourselves against the fakes and get it out there, and I would be a debunk. I'm not good at it. I don't catch everything the first time around. And I really don't have the time to sit and go over all these people's videos and try to pick out what's fake and what's not. And I'll leave it to the pros, Shape and Beardo and Crow and all of them. They can, and the side guy just blows my mind because he picks up on stuff that other people might not catch, and he nails it. So we've got a good debunking community going on, and we just have to just support them the best that we can. Stick up for them the best that we can, do the best we can as far as, when people do the bashing. Just like on here, guys, this is an open forum. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't begrudge anybody their opinion. It's not going to make me mad. What's going to upset me is if you bash somebody that's it's uncalled for. No bullying. You know, you don't need to do that stuff. And if you can't come out here and give your opinion in an adult manner, then you're out the door because I don't have time for that. Not at all. So actually tonight's show, I wanted to have discussions on equipment um, and stuff like that. Most of us use some kinds of equipment. We don't all have the bells and the whistles like the big crews do. Um, so we do the best that we can with what we've got. Like I said, I've been doing this for a lot of years, and I never spent a lot of money on any fancy. Of course, back when I was doing this, they didn't have all of that stuff. So now that they've gotten all these great things with all these lights and all these sounds, and I'm still not buying them. I'm still not using them. Um, I still use some of the apps. I do a lot of testing with the apps just to see what it comes up with or what it comes out with. Um, like I discussed on the last show there, we're talking about the one freak thing I had with the ghost tube. So seeing that I had that instant, I'm going to be testing that one again a little bit more in depth than I did the last time and first time that I used it. This way, so I can get a general idea to see if it's actually worth wasting time on, or just as usual, stick to what I know and what I usually do. And I trust my senses more than anything else. Um, so that's actually just the best route for me. Trusting in myself and my own senses. Um, yes, I do use the K2 meter, but I do that as um, in the beginning, before I even start my investigation, and I do a run through, check for energy sources, energy spikes. This way, I have a general idea of what's going on in the space that I'm investigating. Also, I also like to use because the EVP or the K2 will go off for a lot of things. Phone sets it off. TVs, computers. You have an Alexa in the house. um, ceiling fans, stuff like that. Just a lot of the weirdest things you wouldn't think would set it off will. If it does have an energy source, it is a possibility it will set it off. So I'd like to know that ahead of time before I start doing my investigation so I know what to expect in that space. As far as expecting spirit to talk through that, well, I really don't. I might turn it on and see what happens, but I don't put, 100% stock and depending on that for any kind of communication. I was my beef is the REM pod. I know a lot of people use it. A lot of the big guys use them, and I know it's probably just a, uh, I know it's just a tool, and a lot of it is just an experiment with the tool. Um, but as far as how reliable it is, not very. I don't think. I haven't seen anybody that's used them that's found definite proof through using this machine. Um, I've read an article. Kenny Biddle, another great guy, did a whole article on the REM pod and how it works, and what it does. And pretty much the bottom line is, he said it's pretty much a glorified cat toy. And that's another question. Like I'd like to ask because I don't use REM pods, so I'd like to ask some of the big guys that are out there. Why don't they use if they're going to use the REM pod? Have they ever used a Faraday cage over the top of the machine? Um, if most of you don't know, the Faraday cage was invented back in the I believe 1800s. Um, and it's pretty much it's just like a metal mesh cage that you put over the REM pod to block out outside signal. So it's kind of like a barrier, a shield. Um, and I was just wondering if any of the other guys that use these machines have ever done the Faraday over the top of it to cut down out on the outside disturbances or signals. And then maybe I would have a little bit more belief in the unit if they did, and what kind of evidence would appear using that shield type of a tool. Um, that's just something that we'd have to actually test and figure out. That's one of the things I'd like to ask Joe Vitale if that's something that he's ever used or thought about using during one of his investigations, um, just to see the difference in result from just using the REM pod on its own and let it go, or having the cage on there, blocking out that outside source, and see what they end up with. I think that would be pretty interesting. Then also, other gadgets. Excuse me. Everybody has their toy of choice. I'm pretty basic, bare bones camera, digital recorder, um, a thermometer, a digital thermometer, because I like to keep track of the temperature and the space that I'm in. Also, matching it up with what's on the outside as per the inside in each section. Um, like was last night? I think it was last night. Weeping Willows video was up. I was watching that, and the one of the girls did hit a cold spot, and that's when I questioned him. Do you use a digital thermometer to pick up the difference in the temperature change from where she was standing in that spot to the rest of the room? And she said no, they didn't have that equipment yet. It was on her equipment list, which is funny. I know, one piece at a time, gals. One piece at a time. Uh, the paranormal investigation field is expensive, guys. So you gotta save up and buy a piece at a time. But even though you could just use a regular indoor, outdoor digital thermometer, because I do that as well, and you carry with you, and then you could tell, when you say, "Oh, I'm going through a cold spot or something weird's going on here." Test that, document it, um, and see if it happens anywhere else in the space that you're investigating. That's it's pretty easy. Those are pretty cheap. You can get one of those for like $9, and then move up to the big gun. That's that's how you have to work on that one. Oh, a little sip there, guys. It gets dry. It gets dry, and my throat gets all raspy. All this talking and it gets dry. But that's the thing is all the equipment is a big part of what everything that we do, and it would be great if they did come up with something that we could put 100% belief into. I haven't seen that yet. None of us have seen that yet. So it's all a big experiment from the apps to the REM pods to everything else, just all a big experiment. And spirit boxes. Okay, they a lot of people spend the money, hundreds of dollars. I'm sorry, guys. The hundreds of dollars on these big spirit boxes. Um, but is it something that we could, really sink our teeth into? I don't know. I don't use one of those. I always used, like I said, the recorders, digital recorders. When I started, I was using a cassette recorder. So imagine that one, carrying all that around. Actually, it was like, I could do it with a Walkman. It was a lot easier than carrying around a regular deck style recorder. But now that like they have the spirit boxes, we've used the AM radio station, white noise, and see if anything would come through that instead of using just these high tech spirit boxes. It's everybody's preference, it really is. I pretty much call it like the ghost hunting on a budget. 'Cause so if you gotta have a budget, because if not, then you could just go out and buy all of this stuff, and then, the sad thing is you find out later it just isn't proving anything, and all it is a bunch of expensive toys. Um, the cameras, I think, are just really expensive, or they're expensive, but they're important. I like to use, just, a regular, uh, video camera, film in 4K. I also use a 35 millimeter camera, and then I also have, the GoPro, and then also, body cam, uh, because we're such a small group, and actually that you realize, guys, I'm on my own tonight. The rest of my team had to work. So here I am on my own, just hanging with the rest of you. Um, the body cam, I figured because it's such a small group, we don't have a lot of cameras that, so whatever angle that we're gonna miss, because obviously you're shooting, you're forward, and the body cam is attached on the back, and it's catching what's behind us. So whatever direction that we're turning in, you know, that little camera is gonna pick up something that we're missing because we don't have that angle. Eventually, I'd like to be able to get a few more, cameras so that I can set them up separately, investigations, and then it would be a little bit easier, even though it'd be a lot more work. Because I asked Joe that question on one of his lives, what was their camera status and if they ever used body cams. No, he said the static cameras and all the other handheld stuff, and um, it's a lot of stuff to go through. But he's got more people hanging out with him doing his thing than than we do. So I do the best I can with what I got. I'm going to be doing a new investigation coming up actually in a couple of weeks. I'm going to revisit the Charlie House, guys. If you watched my first program, you heard me talk about how the first time I used the Ghost 2 app, that I used it and the name Charlie come up. It was the first time I ever used it, ever turned it on, and it happened to be that the guy that was there, lived there, died 2 months prior. His name is Charlie, and that's what come up. So, I'm gonna be going back there, and, we're gonna give the YouTube or not the YouTube, what the heck am I thinking? the ghost tube amp another whack and see if Charlie comes up again. And this time I'm going to get some filming in uh, and pretty much and actually put it on the channel. I went through some old footage today that I did 2 years ago. And like I said, I didn't reason I didn't put it on before is because it was just there was nothing. And who wants to see me just walk through an old house? But I think I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to change that up this year. Even though if nothing does show up, or even if it's just the slightest noise or indication of something going on, I'm going to be posting it. So this way I can get everybody's opinion. I thought I had something big last night, actually. I was going through footage from 2 years ago. Excuse me. And I had the headphones on. I had never gone over this footage. I had forgot about it and left it. So I was going over last night and something popped up and oh my God, I pretty much shit myself, guys. I'm thinking, oh my, I caught something. I caught something on this. And I was gonna delete this. And it's a good thing I listened to it a few times because then I realized it's not what I thought it was. And I was just so disappointed because I thought, damn sure I had something going on. And yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was. So, even though it was exciting to think that I've, caught something in that house, because it was footage on the unfinished investigation. You seen the picture of the big house that I posted. That house is amazing. It's an amazing old house built back in the 1800s, and it's I believe it's seven bedrooms. Let's see, one, two, three. Yeah, seven or eight bedrooms, five bathrooms. I mean, just it is huge. It is a huge place, and it takes some time to go through. And but every time I want to go through it, my equipment, either the batteries got sucked dry or something else happened. That just wasn't working. So I couldn't. Cameras weren't working right. So it's either something doesn't want me to complete that investigation, or I don't. It's just crap luck. I don't know. I really couldn't. I can't explain it. I've tried to do it 3 times, and every time something has gone wrong where I can't complete what I wanted. But I'm determined this year to get through that house, do a few hours in there, and see what we come up with. And that's hopefully I will catch something because there as I do have information on the house, a little background on it. I try to limit that because I don't want to be uh, expecting something. Just like I usually go in blind on most of my investigations, so I don't want to have any kind of expectations. But I do know a little history on the home, and the age of the home. Of course, you can tell by just looking at it. It's an old gal, and it's amazing. It really is. I just love to get my hands on more old spots like that. That's just the best. So hopefully soon, like I said, it's either going to be this coming weekend. Um, I'm pretty sure this coming weekend is when I'm going to revisit the Charlie house, and hopefully Charlie will show back up, and I'll catch it back on film and a recorder. Because last time when I did the app as a test, I didn't have the digital recorder on, and I don't know why, but I didn't, and I should have. So that was my bad. This time I'm going to turn on the recorder as I turn on that app and see if Charlie pops up. And let's just keep my fingers crossed. And then with just a little video footage at night, because we're going to be staying there. So maybe during the night, I'll catch something on camera, maybe even Charlie himself. Wouldn't that be something? I don't expect much. I really don't. After doing this for all these years, I'm I'm happy if, just to be able to walk through and catch some great video footage of some great places. Um, I've only had maybe documented 2 things. Uh, all these years. I've had a lot of experiences, but stuff always seems to happen when you don't have the camera rolling. You gotta love it, you know? But, spirit doesn't, perform on command. And I think that's what a lot of people think. That's why you get all these fake videos. Oh, this did this or that did that or something scratched me or this and that. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. I've never been scratched. Touched, yes. Heard whispers, yes. Um, Heard things move around, footsteps, all of that stuff, yes. Unfortunately, a lot of it wasn't documented because there wasn't the time or place when we had an investigation going on. If you remember the last show when I was talking to Crow, I was talking about how that we do have stuff going on here in our home, and I was one rule I always stick to: never investigate where you live, because it's just going to stir up, a puddle of shit that you don't want to get into. But I'm going to take Crow's advice and actually just set up camera and turn it on and see what happens. So that's technically not an investigation. It's just running the camera in the house, and we'll see what I get. Living room, and the only reason I'm doing it is because of my dog. Uh, she's afraid to go in the living room, and so something's going on, and I want to just check it out first before I do any kind of house cleansing, and go from there. Also, in the attic, because that's mainly where most of the activity and noise is in the attic. So, and it's it's not all the time, but and it's been peaceful and livable for over 20 years. And like I said, I just don't want to stir the pot. But I think, yeah, like Crow said, just putting the cameras up and see what happens. Maybe something pops up, or even just sticking a recorder up there and see if I can get any kind of EVP stuff going on, or something telling me, "Hey, shut that off, knock it off." Who cares what they're gonna say? Tell me to buzz off. I don't know. You don't know, but at least I'll know I'll catch something, and then I'll just go from there. I think that's the best that we can do without causing an issue. Um, and like I said, it's been poor dog goes in the living room, and then she just runs right back into the kitchen, and she's shaking. And it's not like she's little one of those foo-foo dogs. She's a German Shepherd, so when she's coming back scared, so I think that's a little concerning. So I wanna I wanna check into it and, uh, and go from there and see what we can find out. Nobody I know I got a couple of yous watching. Nobody's in chat. If anybody has any questions, that would be great. Join in on the chat. Ask me any question that you want, and I can answer it to the best of my ability. Um, like I said, I don't use a lot of the new gadgets and equipment, but what I do use, I use it well. And there's a lot of experience. Share your experiences with me. That's what this whole channel is about. I want to be involved with and share everybody's experiences. And you can even you want to come on camera, come on camera. If not, that's okay. A lot of people are camera shy. Um, but join in on the chit chat and ask any question that you might think or something. Hi, I'm lurking, dealing with a sick. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope it's something that she'll get over soon. Um, I know that it's rough when their parents are sick. My mom has dementia, so I take care of her all day, and then when she gets into bed, this is my time. So it's a dementia's a rough road. So hopefully your mom's going to be feeling well soon, and it's nothing too serious. And I'm glad that you just listened to me ramble, just a rambling on. Like I said, I had hoped that I had a couple people that were gonna join me tonight, but, I mean, it's a Saturday night. I'm sure they got their own stuff going on. Um, but eventually, I'm gonna get them on here. I think it's the stomach bug, but she's over 80. Some people. Oh, yes. Yeah, you have to keep a good eye on them when they get old like that. Um, Lots of fluid. That's a lot of problems with that those kind of things, dehydration. Um So, yeah, hopefully, sending prayers. that she's feeling better. If you have any, fantastic, I gotta tell you, I love your graphics. They are just fantastic. I love it. That last video there that you did with the skull and that blue background was fabulous. I loved it. I'm still learning all of this stuff. So it's as far as editing, because I don't edit anything. Okay. What you see is what you get. What I put out there is what you get. Excuse me, and I like it that way. That's why it's raw. It's real and wild, and I want it out there as is. But I know that I have to learn, the editing garbage because it's who wants to listen to a 2-3 hour investigation? Not me. So I got to learn how to shorten that stuff up. Thumbnails, I got to learn how to do those. Like I said, I never done any of this. I usually did lives and stuff on Facebook. Um, and those I mastered. So this is a this I'm gonna learn. It's gonna take me a while, guys. So just be patient with me. Editing and designing for years, so it's a bit easy. It's making sure content is okay. That's oh yeah, I'm sure. I actually downloaded a video editing program today. Be honest, I forgot what it's called. It looks really good. Um, Hopefully, I can learn it. I'll be jumping all over it for the next week here, trying to figure it all out. Because that's once I discover something and I don't know anything about it, that's when I dig into it and I wanna know it. That's anything that I don't know, I look it up, I research it, and I figure it out. Um, and I'm usually pretty quick at learning and figuring stuff out. So that's what I'm hoping with this editing thing. I think I'll catch on quick and then make some of this stuff a little more interesting for you guys. Um, you know, just standing here, sitting here looking. um, and I think it would help with other things that I do as well. As far as the other things that I take care of, like as I do design and make handmade jewelry and stuff, and I think that editing thing would help with that as well. So it's like I said, a learning process, step at a time, and maybe someday I'll be good as you. Maybe. I got to keep my fingers crossed. That's as best as I can do until I get it all down. Using ClipChamp as my main computer is the Crow's recommended DaVinci, which I'm looking at right now. I did check into that. Um, it's a UK based program. I was having issues getting it to open up. I'm gonna try it again because that one did look really good. It did. So I'm gonna play around with it again, see if I can, because I can have more than one. Why not? There was one that earlier I downloaded, didn't understand it at all. Didn't understand it at all. So I got rid of that one, and it was pretty lame, to be honest. I don't expect to do top notch professional, editing and creating with those things until I learn all the ropes. But I want many options to play with. Um, I haven't downloaded it yet, but it is free to animate. Yeah, yeah, it is free. And it was like I said, it looked great, but I couldn't get it to open up. Excuse me. I don't know if you had heard the beginning of this. My computer died after the last show I did. So I had to hurry up and go get another computer. So that's what I've been doing, putting everything onto the new computer, trying to learn how this new computer works because it's different than what I had before because all my stuff was old. So that's what I'm doing now is figuring out getting some new editing equipment for my videos and stuff like that. And like I said, thumbnails and all. I don't know how to do any of that because I've never done it. So those things look like they're going to make it a lot easier and just make it look a little nicer, I suppose. But you do great work. Fantastic. I like just to sit there and stare at it. I thought it was really great. Um, so yeah, it's still all a learning process, getting it down, and hopefully getting it to work right. That's the bonus for me. So we just yeah, I'm just gonna be doing it. I was planning on doing an investigation actually this weekend. And then we got hit with a winter storm. It's still storming out. 2 days of snow. So I'm not walking around in, snow that's up to my knees just to go check out something. Just not having it, guys. I'm too old for that. So I gotta wait till it melts, back down to grass, and then I'm gonna get out there. But this coming weekend, yeah, we're going to the Charlie House, stay there for a couple of days. So I'm gonna take advantage because I'm gonna be inside, staying there. So I'll be able to get hooked up on seeing if the Charlie comes back up again. Also, it gives me the opportunity to, hang out at the Lawrence house because the Lawrence house is next door, that big old house. So and it's shut down for the winter season. So I have access to get in that house, for as long as I want. So I think I'm gonna sneak over there as well, um, and see what I can get out of that this trip around. Also, the only problem is that there's no heat and no lights, so I'll be I have to wear a jacket and bring some flashlights because yeah, they have it shut down for the winter. They only open it up for visitors and guests during the summer months, which is a bonus for me because, like I said, every time I go to that place, something gets messed up and I can't get accomplished what I want. Um, so I'm just gonna try to sneak in, get some footage this weekend, and I'll have until, April, actually, to keep going back to this place and build up, a few, videos to see if I can get anything out of there, and I'm just gonna bring some extra batteries and everything I can think of that's extra that, so it doesn't turn into a hot mess like the last 3 times I was there. And I was doing it in between seasonal visits because, they've rented out and then you can't go. So I'd have to sneak in between. But I'm determined to get a really good investigation. There might be nothing there at all. Uh, but it might be loaded with who knows what. So and it's bothering me because every time I walk into that place, it's just I'm gonna post some inside pictures because I do have some inside still shots, um, just so that you guys can get a general idea, uh, of what it looks like on the inside, and I just love it. I love it. It has the original hardwood floors, uh, in the kitchen area, it has a herringbone, a wood ceiling with beams, which is incredible. They're really incredible. All the old furniture and stuff like that from back in that day, and, so I'll have to, pull up those pictures and I'll post them so you guys get a general idea of what I'm talking about in that building. Um, and it's gorgeous because it's just right on the lake. It's a lakefront property. So you could just sit on the big wraparound porch and look out, and there's a couple of stories off of that lake as well, which I'm gonna be tackling, this summer as well. Um Something there's an island across the way from the house that, has a history, and actually there's history right in the front lawn of that White House, um, that I wanna dig into. A lot of people have explained that they've heard the things that are claimed to be there, and I wanna see if I can catch that as well. That would be great. A lot going on up there. A lot going on, and, you don't have many of course, look, not everybody puts on YouTube. I decided to do the YouTube thing because I wanted to collect the education and help people educate as well. Um, so why not, hang out on YouTube and join the groups and the communities and learn, you know? That's what it's all about. Well, for me anyway, and for a lot of the other ones are mostly about, cha-ching, cashing in on the views and, I will take all the subscribers and all the likes you guys wanna hand out but, I'm not thinking that I'm gonna be anything, you know, top of the line, top of the charts. I'm just happy to collect a few new good friends and do our best to keep things rolling and keep it real. Um, and I'm excited about, the summer schedule. That's when the meat of this is gonna get on the roll because then I'll be putting out the videos and then be able to sit there and pick them apart with you guys. I want, the input. I want, people to look at the videos and say, "Okay, well, I've seen this," or "No, that's what this was," or, help me debunk it, help me tear it apart. Because if anything else, I'm real and I want you all to be real with me and what I put out here. Um, that's all I can ask. And exactly, it's about being part of the community and sharing info and you are so right. It is because we don't know everything. We don't. Uh, and so, you know, I might know some stuff that, you guys don't know or this one don't know. And then you get, Shape is a well of information. Uh, Crow, Crow just, he blows my mind. He's such a sweetheart and he knows a lot. And then you've got Joe Vitale is brilliant because I love the way he's serious. You know what I mean? He gets in it, he does what he does, and he puts it out there. Um, I love say Ouija Brothers. They're in there, they're honest, they go along, they show it. They're not afraid to show it. They're not afraid to pick it apart and be real about it. Um, and so what we don't know, uh, we can learn from them. And then if we have issues, and we need help with something, they're there, and they're there, and that's great. That's why I love this. That's why I wanted to be involved in this. I want to be involved in the conversations and put in my 2 crappy cents, if that's how you want to look at it. Uh, but I want to be able to be a part of it. You can be a part of it in chat. But when you have a specific question or a large question, be and then the chat goes by so fast, especially when you start building up people that watch all the time and it flies by so fast that they can't catch it. So I figured if it's one-on-one and in each other's faces and you ask these questions and they can answer, and then we can move along and learn from that and learn from each other. I think that and all the nastiness that's going on, like I said at the beginning of this thing, the nastiness that's going on is ridiculous and childish. We're supposed to work together as teams, as a community, and yeah, people are going to get offended. Of course they are. You get offended every day just walking down the street. Suck it up. We have become so soft in this country, in this world, because everybody's offended by something. You know, sorry. You don't mean to hurt somebody's feelings, but truth is truth. You don't hide from the truth. And if you're going to put it out there, then be ready to take the lumps. It goes with it. It goes with the territory. Learn from that experience. Don't, get a knot up your ass and then start ripping people apart. That's not how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to say, oh, well, gee, okay, think of it with an open mind. Okay, I put this out there. People think I'm wrong or I'm faking. Here's the proof. All right. Or, not for nothing. If you're busted, own it. But these people don't do, these kids don't do that. Not nowadays. Not nowadays. It's a very supportive community. I've had so much help. This is worth being a title channel and paranormal community. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And that's the beauty of it. Um, and like, it's we stick together. We're all like-minded because we're all seeking truth, not fantasy. Everybody enjoys a little bit of fantasy. But when it comes to this, we're all searching for a reason. Um, I know, like I said, I was touched by the paranormal as a child, and that sparked the interest. And ever since then, I've had many experiences. Family and friends have had experiences, and you want to know, all right, why? What is going on? How is this happening? And can I find the answers? That's what this is all about. Um, and it's got nothing to do with your religious beliefs. Okay? Everybody has their own beliefs. We need to be respectful of that. Um, it's just it goes with the territory because you're dealing with spirits. So beliefs are going to come into play, whether you believe in it or not. Well, just like, some people, they don't believe in it at all, but they're still involved in it because they've got that question lurking in the back of their head. But what if I'm wrong and there is something there? That shadow of doubt. And that's good to have that because then it makes you want to learn, you want to do the research, you want to do the investigating. So you either can say, okay, see, I was right. This isn't real. We need to move along. Or, oh wow, there really is something to this. Um, and that's why we all do it because we've all had something that has sparked that interest, and we want to know why, or how can this happen, or who is it? If the day where you can actually have, I'm guilty of this because when I watch some of these crap things, you watch them and you're like, because they're entertaining. But then they say, oh, throw a stone at me or this. Just once, I always tell my husband, I wish something would pick up a stone and just whip it right at him, just to shut him up because they always say that. Oh, I'm not afraid. Throw a stone or do this or do just once. I said terrible, probably. But just once, I'd like to see somebody just get smacked with something and then actually see them shit themselves. And now that's real TV. And that would put on some pretty good ratings, I think. But we gotta just, they would run a mile if something you are so right. You are so right. And I have a big problem with that. When you see, I'm not gonna name any names because I've watched a few of the YouTubers where they're in the houses and they're like, "Oh, what was that?" Or, "Oh, there's this and that." And then they hear something. And instead of running towards the noise or the shadow that you've seen, these guys are hauling butt outside the house. And my husband laughs at me because I'm yelling at the screen saying, "Well, what are you there for? Why are you running the wrong way? The whole point is to run towards it, not away from it. Unless the thing's a ball of fire. Okay, then I can see you hauling ass out the door." Excuse me, but you know, there's a couple of them that do that, and I just get so annoyed by that they just run in the other direction. Then you might as well just leave that house. Why are you there? What'd you go there for? Um, but yeah, please or scratch me or you could do this, you could do that. And you know, if it really you're right, if it really did happen, they would turn white as a ghost and run out the door. And that would be the end of their paranormal experience. Um, my sister's crazy like that. If something goes off and she hears something, my sister will chase it down. She's not afraid of anything. She will chase it down and find it if it's out there, which is great. Uh, so we say, well, Lisa, we heard this or we had that. Where? She'll go. She takes off and she goes. And it's just say, well, it's just like this or a squirrel or she's not afraid to get right in on it. And so we have a good time when we do investigate together because she's all over it. She is, she questions it all, and Lisa will call bullshit is bullshit, but yeah, she's the first one to start running. Exactly. I had the loads of experience which creeps me out in hindsight, but I have never been afraid at the actual time. I want to know what's happening. Right, right. Because I think it's a shock factor at first. You're like, "Alright, did I just think I saw what I saw?" So then you're I don't like I said, us, we would, like, walk towards it thinking, "Alright," and the mind does and the eyes do play tricks on you because, one time when I was up, doing an investigation and I had a shot of the yard, and then I looked at the photograph, and it looked like in the photograph, 3 men in hooded capes, and I'm like, "What the heck did I just catch?" And I'm thinking, "Oh, god," and it was really dark, and the only reason I didn't go in that direction is because where I was bear country, and the bears like to hang out and wander around at night, so that's the only reason I didn't walk towards what I took a photo of. But then I was dying laughing the next morning when I went back out there, and it was 3 3 propane tanks, for the property, and they were cylinder shaped. So in the way that they were sitting, it looked at night like 3 guys in hooded capes. My husband's laughing, I'm laughing. It was really, really funny. So, it happens. You can things can play tricks on your mind, and, you'll go with it or debunk it at that time. Like I said, if I wasn't worried about the bears, then I would I would have went out towards it and said, "What the heck is this? What is this all about?" Um, but otherwise, yeah, you gotta go for it. That's why you're there. I mean, like a lot of the abandoned buildings and stuff, I wouldn't recommend doing any of that stuff alone. You've got people that do that stuff alone, and I don't think that's really smart because you don't know there could be squatters, homeless, um, and yeah, any kind of large animal or something in there. So if you go in there with a team, then you got better chances of either scaring off if something is living in the place, or at least somebody to help you defend off any kind of big problems. Um, but yeah, well, I guess it's all choice. It makes the guys look bigger, I guess. Well, I went in here alone. Well, good for you. But no, I don't go anywhere by myself. It's always with somebody else. Unless I know the property and the area personally, then I don't sweat it because I'm used to it and I know what's going on there. Um, but yeah, the experiences we've got, that's what I want. I want everybody to share their experiences and their information. And this is all going to be an education for us, I hope. And fantastic. I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. I've loved our chit chat. I pray Mama's going to feel better soon. Keep us posted. Hopefully, it's just, yeah, stomach thing and it'll go by quick. We all just got over like sinus things. I'm still a little stuffy. It takes forever for it to go away. It's really annoying, but we just got to keep popping in those vitamins. Um, and it's a shame that whoever I invited couldn't make it tonight. Like it's Saturday, 7 o'clock. I figured, well, they had stuff going on. So hopefully I can arrange for them to come on next time. I do a live because I really want to get Joe on here and pick his brains and get him to answer some of the questions that I've got specifically for him. Even if he wants to bring Dawn on, she's more than welcome. Everybody's welcome. You just let me know. I send you an invite, and you can join in on the Chit Chat show. Thank you, everybody. Please remember to hit the like button, if you liked it or not, and share if you can. This way, I know I'm doing something right, everybody. Fantastic, fantastic. Oh, again. Ah, again, not my tongue, apparently. Thanks, honey, for showing up. I really, really appreciate it. Until next time, everybody, have a great weekend. Be safe and keep warm. Until then, good night.